This episode is brought to you by Sterling Soap Company. How often do you think about your soap? Well, if you answered, not much, maybe you should. You see, a lot of what passes for soap in stores is technically not soap, according to the FDA's definition. It's full of lab-created chemicals and detergents because, well, it's cheaper to make. Now, what if you could buy natural soap made from natural ingredients like tallow, palm oil, coconut oil, and scented with essential oils, and for just a little more than you'd pay for grocery store soap? Sterling Soap is 100% natural, and with a wide variety of bath soaps, shave soaps, beard balm, lotions, and cologne, there's a product and a scent for just about everybody. Check them out for yourself at sterlingsoap.com. That's STIRLING soap.com.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Darren Hayes, host of the Pigskin Dispatch and Jersey Dispatch podcast. I hope you've enjoyed another great episode here on Sports History Network. Now, speaking of sports history, this episode was brought to you by Firefly Books, and they have two great ones for you this summer. For basketball fans, they have the NBA 75, the definitive history by author Dave Zarum, who's appeared on our Jersey Dispatch podcast recently. He tells about the experience, the thrilling journey of the NBA, from its humble beginnings to its modern glory. Uncover the untold stories of triumph, controversy, and the greatest stars of the game. This isn't just a book. It's courtside seats to over 75 years of NBA history. And for the golf enthusiasts, swing into The Golf Round I'll Never Forget by Matt Adams. Relive 50 of golf's most memorable moments through the eyes of the legends themselves. From Garcia's triumph at the 2017 Masters to Nicklaus' miraculous 1986 comeback, it's the closest you'll get to walking the fairways with golf's greatest. Get your summer read on. Grab a copy of NBA 75 or The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, available online or at your favorite bookstore.
This is Basketball History 101 with Rick Loayza.
Welcome back to Award-winning Basketball History 101, part of the Sports History Network. I am your host, Rick Loayza, and this is a podcast where we bring to life some of the forgotten stories from basketball history. We are bringing old school basketball to a new school audience, and today we bring you the story of drafting number one for a championship. And what I mean specifically is when a team has the number one pick in the entire draft, and then that player helps the team win a championship. In the history of the NBA, there have been 78 drafts. The annual event goes all the way back to the summer of 1947, which was the summer right after the very first season of the NBA. Landing the first pick in the entire draft is a rare thing. From 1947 until 1984, the worst team in the league automatically got the first pick in the draft. If two teams tied for the worst record in the league, then the commissioner would flip a coin to see which team drafted first and which team drafted second. Since 1985, all of the non-playoff teams go into a draft lottery where every one of those teams could land the first pick in the whole draft. However, all of this to say that if your team is the one that is holding that top pick in the draft, it usually means that your team has been struggling recently. And having that first pick is like a lifeline. Having the first pick in the draft could mean turning the entire team around and putting them back on track for success. How many times have you heard of a player being referred to as the next great big man in the league, or the next great point guard? Or a player is described as having Jordan-like attributes or Magic-like vision, or the player is described as having Curry-like shooting ability. The top 4 or 5 players every year are described as having the ability to turn their team around. But here is the question that gave me the idea for this episode. How often does that first pick actually help that team win a championship? Well, being the curious person that I am, I had to find the answer to that question, and I want to share that answer with you. So, for the purposes of this episode, Michael Jordan does not count because he was drafted third in 1984, not first. Steph Curry also does not count because he was drafted with the 7th pick in 2009. Similarly, Larry Bird was taken with the 6th pick in 1978. So again, how many times has the player taken with the very first pick gone on to help that same team win a championship? Out of the 78 years of drafting players, it has only ever happened 10 times. That means that approximately 1 out of every 8 years does the top pick win a championship with that team. So let's go through it in chronological order. Here are the 10 times when the player drafted first helped that team win a championship. The first time that this happened was way back in the 1950s. Specifically, it was the 1953 draft. The Philadelphia Warriors held the top pick and they selected Ernie Beck from the University of Pennsylvania. Now, Beck was not the team leader or anything like that, but he was still with the team 3 years later when they won the 1956 championship. Beck came off the bench as a capable role player, averaging 5 points per game. Now we have to fast forward to 1966 when this happened for the second time. During that draft, the New York Knicks selected Cazzie Russell from the University of Michigan. He played for the Knicks for the first 5 seasons of his career, helping the team win the 1970 NBA championship. He came off the bench, averaging just over 11 points per game that season, and then Cazzie went on to 1 All-Star game after he left the Knicks and played for the Golden State Warriors. Now, for the third one of these events, we have to travel forward to the 1970s. In 1974, the Portland Trail Blazers had the top pick and they selected future Hall of Famer Bill Walton. Walton stayed just healthy enough to lead the team to the 1977 NBA championship. The Trail Blazers were down 2-0 to the Philadelphia 76ers and then stormed back to win 4 games in a row to secure the ring. Now, the fourth time that this happened was in 1979. The Los Angeles Lakers had the top pick of the draft even though they were nowhere near the worst team in the league. They held the top pick in the draft because of a trade with the New Orleans Jazz from several years earlier. It was actually the Jazz's pick that was number 1, but it was the Lakers who had the rights to that pick. So, with the first pick, they selected Magic Johnson from Michigan State University. Magic joined the Lakers team that already had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jamal Wilkes, Michael Cooper, and Norm Nixon. And once Magic Johnson joined the team, that kicked off showtime. Together, they won the championship in 1980, 1982, 1985, 1987, and 1988. And this has to go down as one of the best top picks ever, as it led to not 1, but 5 championships. Magic was one of the most transformative players to ever play in the NBA. And I would love to keep talking about Magic, but we need to move on. Actually, we do not have to move on that far, as just 3 years after selecting Magic Johnson, the Lakers had the top pick once again, and this time it was through a trade with the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers were so bad that their pick became the top pick in the draft, but the Lakers were the team that controlled that pick due to the trade. So in 1982, with the top pick in the draft, the Los Angeles Lakers selected James Worthy from the University of North Carolina. And 1982 was the only time in NBA history that the reigning champion also had the top pick in the draft. Worthy was joining the champions, and with Worthy as part of Showtime, they won championships in 1985, 1987, and 1988. So that was a bit of a 2-for-1. The Lakers of the 1980s had 2 number 1 picks in Magic and Worthy, and they won a whole bunch of championships. Now, the next one was a bit of a slow burn. It was 1984. The Houston Rockets took Akeem Olajuwon from the University of Houston with that top pick, but it took years and years. But finally, they were able to put a competitive team around Akeem and won back-to-back championships in 1994 and 1995. Olajuwon was an MVP, one of the all-time great centers, and a Hall of Famer. Now, Akeem was the 6th in our list of 10 instances where the top pick helped the team win a championship. Now, for the last 4, I have to do them in pairs, because just like the combination of Magic Johnson and James Worthy, these last 4 are also combinations of where 2 top picks came together to lead a team to a championship. So let's get back into the list. In 1987, the San Antonio Spurs selected David Robinson from the United States Naval Academy. And I give the Spurs a lot of credit here because Robinson had to serve for 2 full years in the U.S. Navy before joining the NBA. So when the Spurs took him in 1987, they knew that it was going to be 2 years before he ever suited up for the team. But they felt that he was worth it. And in retrospect, they were absolutely correct. Robinson joined the Spurs in 1989 and went to the All-Star game in his very first season. He quickly became one of the top centers in the league, and he made the Spurs competitive, but not quite championship material. So let's fast forward a few years to 1997, when Robinson missed almost an entire season due to an injury. The team struggled hard and missed the playoffs, and that led to them landing the number 1 pick once again. And with that pick in 1997, they selected Tim Duncan from Wake Forest University. So the combination of Robinson and Duncan led to 2 championships in 1999 and 2003. And then Robinson retired, and Duncan led the team to 3 more championships in 2005, 2007, and 2014. These 2 first ballot Hall of Famers made for an incredible front court. So this takes us to the final 2 instances of where the top pick helped the team win a championship. And again, this is a combination of top picks. In 2003, the Cleveland Cavaliers had the top pick and selected LeBron James from St. Vincent St. Mary High School in Akron, Ohio. Now, we all know the story of how LeBron left the Cavaliers in 2010 to join up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami. And there he was able to win 2 championships in 4 years and then returned to the Cavaliers. However, while LeBron was gone playing in Miami, the Cavaliers were really struggling for victories. And during those 4 years that LeBron was gone, the Cavaliers landed the top pick 3 times. In 2011, they used that top pick to select Kyrie Irving from Duke University. So LeBron returned to the Cavaliers, teamed up with Kyrie, and together they came back in the 2016 NBA Finals to win a championship. They were down 3-1 to the Golden State Warriors and then won the final 3 games to bring the Cavaliers their first ever championship. And that is the list. It has been 14 years since Kyrie was drafted, and no top pick since has won a championship with the team that selected him. In the last 14 years, most of those top picks no longer play for the team that drafted them. The top candidates, in my opinion, to be the next number 1 pick to help his team win a championship would be either Anthony Edwards in Minnesota or Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio. But of course, only time will tell. So what should we take away from this? Some teams put so much effort into the draft, and relatively speaking, it rarely pays off in a championship, at least for that top pick. Statistically speaking, teams are better off focusing on trades and free agent acquisitions for building their teams. Having the top pick in the draft provides little return, historically speaking. But when it is your team that holds that top pick, hope springs eternal. Well, that is it for us today. Join us next time when we share another story from the history of basketball. That's next time on Basketball History 101, part of the Sports History Network, the headquarters of Sports Yesteryear. Go to sportshistorynetwork.com to find out more about this and other sports history podcasts. If you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts. And check out our page on Facebook. It's called Basketball History 101 Podcast. There you will find short historical posts, and I will also announce there when new episodes come out. I want to thank my producer and editor, Jacob Loayza. Join us each week as we continue to mine the history of basketball for more great stories from the past. Take care, and see you soon.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
The Sports History Network, where legends live on and the past plays loud. Welcome to the place where history's proud. From gridiron glory to the hardwood stars, from the racetrack heat to Olympic bars. It's the voices, the stories, the moments you miss, told by fans and pros who live for this. Hook and Themic, the Sports History Network, where the past comes alive. Podcasts and blogs that keep the flame high. From Babe to Brady, Alley to the Dome. If it's history and sports, then this is the home. SportsHistoryNetwork.com, the headquarters of sports yesteryear.